Well, I must say, this is probably the quietest our house has been in the last 365 days. That's right, the kids are finally back in school, and this is the first day that they've both been back to their elementary school together. And, while we've been looking forward to this for months, I must say, it just doesn't feel quite as nice as I thought it would. I actually miss hearing the brotherly fighting in the background or having the Nerf gun bullets whiz by my head as I'm working on the computer. And so it had me thinking this morning that getting back to normal may not be as great as we think it'll be in some cases. I'm certainly looking forward to it, and hearing from a lot of you about getting your second dose of the vaccination, and things are moving along. Things seem to be starting to open up again, and I think a lot of that will be positive. But I just wonder what things will we miss from this quarantine, from all the craziness of the last 12 months or so. And we're coming up on several anniversaries, and maybe not ones that we want to celebrate, but I think we should at least spend some time thinking about it and reflecting on it and learning from it. It's been about a year since we had to shut down our office and start working remotely, and I know a lot of you found yourselves in similar situations. It's been about a year. It was March 23rd when the S&P 500 hit bottom and started recovering, and what a crazy ride that has been. And I think about the lessons that we've learned or remembered in some cases, and the one that sticks out the most to me is the old saying or idea that the stock market climbs a wall of worry. And you may have heard us say that from time to time. It's something that we do see as we go along, and it's describing the time periods when we look around at what's happening with the economy or just in the general news and media and the headlines that we see, and we also look at what the stock market is doing, and it may be going up unexpectedly. As there are things that we're worried about or negative things that we're dealing with, and somehow the market's able to be resilient and go up despite some of these things that you think might take it down. And I don't know if we've ever had a better example of that than what we experienced last year. With all the negative things going on, and as things were continuing to get worse from the standpoint of the vaccine or just the global shutdown and the impact that was having on business, yet the market still found a way to have this incredible recovery. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense as we were going through it. And we try to find ways to explain it and try to find ways to so that it all makes sense to us. But there's just not always an easy thing to do. And I think that's an important lesson for us all to remember. I remember back in September timeframe thinking about the rest of the year and just the things that we were worried about, whether it was the election or just the vaccine rollout and just being deployed and how that was all going to go, and if that might lead to the reopening that we're all anticipating. And I remember thinking to myself, I just can't wait until we get past these things, and then we'll have more certainty, and then it'll be a little less stressful. It might feel better to be an investor at that point. And here we are as we get into the first quarter of this year, and many of those things are now behind us, and now we have a new set of issues to worry about. There's now interest rates going up, and the idea of inflation coming back, and whether or not this reopening of the world is going to be on the time frame that we'd all like to see. And who knows? We don't know what the future holds. But I think we do know that as soon as these things are in our rearview mirror, there's going to be another set of issues that we're going to have to worry about. And so we can't necessarily base our investments on the day-to-day news like that. And that's just becoming a harder thing to do with the amount of coverage and the type of coverage that we see on all of our daily events and what's happening in the business world and the stock market. It's a lot. It's a lot to digest, and it's a lot to ignore. And we've learned time and time again that that's usually the best way to approach this is to not pay as close of attention to things that are going on today. Because remember, like I said, the market is a forward-looking mechanism. And it's already priced in the events that we're dealing with now, and it's looking ahead another 8 to 10 months from where we are today. And so I thought I would share that with you today. It's feeling so much better as we move into the spring and we're able to get back outside and people are getting vaccinated, and it's just I don't know about you, but I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling positive, and I'm feeling like we may get back to normal, whether we want to or not. And so I hope you're doing well. I hope your families are safe and healthy, and we look forward to seeing you soon.